What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course for a little bit of a plastic conspiracies video, but also we're going to be going through a timeline of Innova 10 speeds. Now, not all 10 speeds are going to be listed here, just kind of ones that I think are poignant in where this video is headed. The first one we're going to start off with is the Innova Beast. The Innova Champion Beast was approved, PDGA approved in 2002. Yeah. This mold is very old mold. Let's see if this mold still has anything good to it. This one, specifically this disc, has an ace on it on this course. Not likely to get another ace on this hole, but let's go ahead and start off right with a nice little backhand. Now the Beast has the numbers 10-5, -2-2, which theoretically speaking should be pretty straight. Maybe a little bit understable, maybe a little bit overstable depending on your arm speed. Let's see how this one flies. Well, a little bit of a grip lock right first throw out of the car, but where's the -2? I hit it a touch of hyzer, maybe a hair, maybe a baby flat shot, and I got about 2 feet of drift, right? Yeah, I don't know where this flight numbers are coming from. Probably from back in the day when Innova was first making their discs, when you didn't have Champion plastic, you didn't have Star plastic. Now when in 2002, they may have been started to make stuff in Star plastic. I don't know exactly when Star plastic came out, but I think CE, Champion Edition plastic, came out. Yeah, they were probably had some 2002 CE plastic, but then it was probably still just DX plastic, KC Pro plastic, R Pro plastic, you know, the different putter style plastics. They just don't have the same rigidity, especially in drivers. So -2-2, if you throw a DX Beast, you're like, wow, that's way more understable. But this Champion Beast, surprisingly stable. So now we're gonna go one step up, one slot more stable. Instead of a 10-5 -2-2, we have the Champion Orc, which is a 10-4 -1-3. So theoretically, should be a little bit less turn and a little bit more fade. And this was PDGA approved at the beginning of 2004. So in 2002, we get the Beast. In 2004, we get the Orc. And the Orcs come out, well, obviously different plastics, but some of them are gonna have this Innova style pop top in the middle. It's not super hard beating unless you're really close, or it's gonna be a little bit of a flatter top. See how this one has a good bit more pop top dome than this one does. So I actually haven't thrown this one yet, so we're gonna throw both of these and just see, and I'm gonna try to do a similar style shot, try to put them out there flat, maybe a touch of hyzer. Do they flip? Do I get the drift that I got out of the Beast, or do they just stay on hyzer? We're gonna go, this one is 170, and this one has that pop top dome. Yeah, and now we'll go the flatter one that is max weight. And when I say max weight, I tested this one. I weighed it in the store, and it's 177.5 grams. It says 3 to 5, but it's not. Well, and that one's flippy. I mean, that's a great shot. But that's kind of what I expected the Beast to fly like. When you first buy a Beast, you expect a shot a little bit more like that. So why does the heavier one that's flatter want to take off and drift on me, whereas the Pop Top Domi one is rigid and more stable? And on the next hole, we will look at the next step up in that evolution and show you why I think that might possibly be. Because 4 years after the Orc, so in 2002 we have the Beast, in 2004 we have the Orc, and in 2008 we have the Innova made Discmania PD. That's what this is. The stamp is completely worn off of this disc, but it does say it right there, C-Line PD, with the numbers of 10403. Theoretically, this should be one step up off of the Orc. So where does that leave us for shapes, for wing shapes, for parting lines? And why did one Orc react so strangely on the last hole? And that is because discs get stability from having a higher parting line, and from having the glide. If their parting line is a little bit more of a neutral parting line, which is what we're going to see from the Orc than the PD, then you need that dome to help it stay in the air so that it doesn't just on you. So the flatter you make the disc, the higher up the parting line needs to be for it to maintain that integrity. So with this disc, it's pretty flat, but that shoulder is much softer. It drops down a good bit more. This is that flatter Orc versus the PD. And you can see how the PD just has a higher wing. And so originally, when you're looking at Beast, then you're looking at Orc, and then you see PD, you think they probably just took a Beast and tried to make the wing a little bit higher. And while that seems like it probably is the case, because this it's almost flat here and then rounded off sharper as it goes down. If we hold the Orc slightly angled, you get the exact same wing shape. It's just tilted that way. So they just took the wing and angled it up, which makes it a little bit less likely to flip, which makes it a little bit more overstable and hold on to that integrity a little bit more. Let's go ahead and throw all three of these. Why not? I'm gonna throw this again just in case it was a weird fluke shot. Let's see if it does the same weird flip. No, it just seems like a bomber one instead of the slightly more domey version of the Orc, which just, if I hit it perfect, it goes amazing. It's a little questionable, which is why I like a tiny bit more stability so I can crank on. So you're gonna get basically the same shot that I got out of the flip up to flat Orc out of the PD, except one of them was thrown on medium to somewhat aggressive hyzer for me, and one of those was thrown on flex line, and they ended up about the same shot. So is the PD actually the disc I need to be looking for? Do I need to try to find more PDs? Or what about new PDs? How do those compare? Do I need to be trying to find the most overstable flat top Orcs I can find? Or do I need to try to look for more dummy ones? What's the perfect disc? And what's the perfect stability for this slot? And I think Innova had it right with the PD, but then you can't find it anymore. And then we leave the Discmania made Innova discs because Innova, or rather Discmania left Innova and went to kind of off on their own, and all their players are kind of relying on the PD, so they have to go out and recreate the PD, or recreate it as close as possible to what people want. This is just an Innova C-Line P, or a Discmania made C-Line PD, which it does exemplify some of the aspects of the Innova made PD. They both do have that somewhat accentuated flat spot before it drops off sharply. So similar to this rim, just flatter. But the main thing I do want to point out here is that one of these is a 10-speed and one of these is a 9-speed. And while I love the Discmania PD, it's amazing and it's perfect for a lot of different shots that I'm trying to throw, it still doesn't feel like a 10-speed. You can hold on to it and you're like, that, it's like a small 10-speed. It's not really Innova 10-speed or Beast PD, where that rim is truly that 10-speed size, whereas this is just a little bit more that 9-speed size. So for the majority of people, they're gonna love it because it's a PD, just a tiny bit less sharp, so it's a little bit easier to throw and get it up to speed. But where does this come? I understand where this comes from this, but we came a long way. Let's go ahead and throw a forehand real quick. We'll go Innova made PD. And now we'll go Discmania made PD. And now we will go the Innova org. That is parked. So the PD is great. The Beast is great. The Orc is great. How much, excuse me, do I really need to be trying to find Super Beef orcs? Do I need to try to be finding Pop Top orcs? Do I need to just fully commit and say the PD is in a league of its own, so just bag a PD? I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if this video is actually going to fully hash that out. And if you watch the rest of my content, you will see that this is an ongoing struggle. So let's go throw one more hole. So I guess as we look at the PD family tree, we'll call it, you start off with the Beast, and then you move to the Orc, and then you move to the actual Innova made PD before you get to the Discmania PD. And weirdly enough, strangely enough, I think this Beast might be more stable than this Orc. So maybe I'm looking for the wrong disc. Maybe Orc is the wrong disc. Maybe I need to be looking for the Beast. Try to find some brightly colored champion Beast so that I don't throw this dark red one and lose it all the time. Yeah, that sounds like a better plan than trying to throw that disc. We'll go ahead and throw them in the order that they were PDGA approved, which will leave us with the Discmania PD to leave off with, starting with 2002 Champion Beast. You know, maybe if I throw it a little bit flat or a little bit of flex, it might actually go well. Finally got some turn out of that one. And then it disappeared. I didn't even see where it finished. You definitely won't be able to. That is a really hard Beast to see, but it does fly pretty good. Then, moving up to 2004, we have the Orc. Let's see if we can see the flight all the way to the end of the Orc. Okay. I think that super flippy throw must have been a misrelease on my part, because that actually does still have some integrity. For consistency's sake, so we can see that all the way to the end of its flight, let's throw this. Yeah, there we go. Perfect shot. Now, stepping up all the way to an 03 instead of a negative anything. This is a 03, 10-4, 03. Maybe a touch of flex. Or just flat. Yeah, flat it works too, I guess. Last but not least, for real a touch of flex this time. Let's go with the PD that of all of the 10 speeds I've thrown today, this is the only one that really couldn't be called a 9-speed. Which makes it easier to control, which makes it more fun to throw. But does it really get the distance? Or just flat? Okay, I guess I'm not angling anything today. Well, anyways, hopefully I'll get my release dialed in soon and actually be able to throw some things on Anheuser. Hopefully you guys enjoy content like this. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment all of that down below. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber-only giveaways. And if you want to be automatically entered into monthly giveaways, check out the memberships. Until next time, see you out on the course.